be burnt.
Almost like a full tentacle.
Did Steve Norrington do?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we had a puppet replica of the actress after it's come out and she's dead that fit into the cocoon so that they could hit it with a flamethrower.
So that was actually burnt. And if I remember right,
It's
the
still
hero
going.
puppet
It's still
The hero
just
puppet was
sacrificed.
thrashing a mile a
it
minute.
just was like,
Burn, baby.
okay, hopefully we got this because we're about to burn it, right?
You don't create fear with gore. You create disgust. It's a whole different emotion. And I think that certainly for me, the emphasis on the second picture was less on horror and more on terror. We wanted people to experience the fear and the suspense.
I remember going to the lab once, or whatever they called it, where they showed us the face huggers. And then as we were like looking at, the thing, they sort of set it off.
Remember, that was a blast to puppeteer that because it was just such a base reaction. It's ever since you're a kid and you try to scare somebody to make them jump, and knowing that that's exactly what the point was for the audience, that was a lot of fun.
We had a puppet and an actuated puppet, but very difficult because it had to be controlled through water. So we had to really figure out how we could get all of these cables and everything hidden and not have everything leak out of the stasis tube at the same time.
The dissection scene from the first Alien film was literally a horseshoe crab with some oysters laid in the bottom and a little bit of extra latex rubber dressing on it. Shane built the dissection facehugger for the second film, and that was stomach tripe unrolled out to its honeycomb pattern.
With silver paint
Chicken
on
skin.
it. Really weird.
And it was pinned out on a dissection board too. I mean, we had to put the thing in a refrigerator every night, and nobody would touch it except Shane. It was only because he had to.
And Lance. So
Bring
Lance
in that horror thing.
Lance Henrikson was really good with it.
Yeah, he was fun.
Oh, buddy, what is that you got there? Oh, wow, look at that.
And he'd get in there and start working.
Well, we like actors, and the stuff that we make, you have to help them do their job too. So if you make it as real as possible, that gives them something to react to.
In order to create the illusion of these two facehuggers, which are now loose in that room, created a half dozen different forms of this particular creature so that it could have a performance and become a character. Didn't change the design, extended the design, changed what it could do as an actor.
What Jim really wanted was that proximity and the tactileness of it. So there were a few different pieces that we built for that.
We had two hero facehuggers, which had complete mobility of the fingers. It could crawl and reach and try and get at Newton, try and get at Ripley. Complete action, but operated literally by 6 or 7 puppeteers just to get all of those fingers doing everything they had to do. Huge bundle of cables. When Sigourney Weaver is holding it, fighting it away from her, there's a huge bundle of cables down her arm. She's creating a performance. Carrie's creating a performance. It's coming up over the table, trying to crawl out. And it's a very, very extensive animatronic cable-operated effect.
Probably the most complex of the pieces was the running facehugger. And that was the mechanism for that was built by Rick Lazzarini. It was a very clever mechanism. It was like a pull toy where there was a couple of pulleys that a cable would run through inside the body. You had another cable that as you pulled the creature along, the wheels of the pulleys would turn, which would activate cams that made the legs scuttle.
This thing looks like a fucking Alaskan king crab. Basically, the wire's going to come from here, straight, and from here, probably come out about here, that way. So that the tail angles down like this, it's going to come down like this more. And the wire will be over the tail, and the sucker will spin it around.
It was, in fact, low-tech, high-art, very interesting concept, and this little thing was running at you, running across the room, and it was virtually a pull toy.
Then in addition to that, Cameron did some very clever things with reverse photography mixed with forward movement. There's actually 3 different pieces to this shot. When the creature runs out and stops, and then it leaps onto the leg of a table and then leaps right at the camera. And what that was the little pull toy facehugger running, stops, cut the camera, take that one out, place a floppy stunt facehugger on the table, and then we put a little eyelet in the ground where the little other running facehugger stopped.